Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, March 10th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. Ring of Honor presented the second episode of ROH on Honor Club last night on the streaming platform, featuring matches taped February 25th at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Athena made the fifth defense of her ROH Women's title, defeating Willow Nightingale.
To the steps, and this is where the switch flips. This is that extra gear Athena has found. There's only one thing left. Riccaboni has her in her sights. The face. That's it.
Also successful in title defenses on last night's show were Wheeler Yuta, who bested Timothy Thatcher to hold on to the ROH Pure Championship, and Samoa Joe, who retained the ROH TV title against Tony Deppen in the opening match. Following Joe's win, Mark Briscoe issued a challenge to him for a title match. Eddie Kingston had his first match as an official member of the Ring of Honor roster, defeating Ben Dejo. In other results, Aussie Open defeated Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams, Ari Daivari and Slim J beat Jake Christ and Man Scout, Trish Adora beat Billy Starks, Dralistico and Rush went over Angelico and Serpentico, and in a six-man match, Dalton Castle and the Boys bested C4 and Marcus Cross. In ratings news, AEW Dynamite drew 858,000 viewers to TBS last Wednesday night, up 3% from the 833,000 viewers that tuned in for last week's episode, according to Showbuzz Daily. In the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the episode scored a .29 rating, which equates to 378,000 viewers. The rating is up nearly 7.5% from last week's .27 rating, according to WrestleNomics. Nevertheless, the show ranked in fourth place on cable TV for the evening in the key demographic, down from third place last week. The Roadblock episode of NXT, which aired on the USA Network Tuesday night, experienced an audience increase, with 624,000 viewers tuning in, according to Showbuzz Daily. That's up nearly 12.5% from last week's audience of 555,000. The rating for the episode in the key demographic was .17, up over 30% from last week's .13 key demo rating, according to WrestleNomics. In WWE news, the company has confirmed that Kofi Kingston is being pulled from tonight's five-way main event on SmackDown. Kingston's partner Xavier Woods will reportedly replace him in the match, the winner of which will face Gunther for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania next month. Also participating in the match are Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and LA Knight. Kingston has been out of action since sustaining an unspecified leg injury during a brawl segment on last week's SmackDown. In Impact Wrestling news, Mickie James made the second successful defense of the Impact Knockouts title on last night's Impact Wrestling on Access TV. In a match taped February 25th at Sam's Town in Las Vegas, James beat Giselle Shaw with some illegal assistance from Deonna Purrazzo.
Deonna out of nowhere here. And wait. Shaw trying to catch James, and Purrazzo turns it around. Evans out of the ring. Cover. James beats Shaw.
Here's your winner and still Knockouts World Champion, Mickie James.
I never thought I'd see the day whether Purrazzo meant to help Mickie James or not. The Virtuosa helped Mickie retain her title.
Also on the show, Sami Callihan defeated Rhino, Kushida beat Jonathan Gresham, and Bully Ray was disqualified in his match against Bhupinder Gujjar. In more NXT news, former NXT talent Sarray has officially left WWE as of yesterday, with her return to Japan set to be announced on Monday, according to a report from Tokyo Sports. Sarray's final match in NXT was a shot at then NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose on August 2nd. She initially signed with WWE in February of 2020, but due to COVID-related delays did not debut in the ring until April of 2021. Although not officially announced, she is reportedly expected to return to the ring in Japan in May. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the wrestling news across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.